1. First of all, make sure that the water with which wuzu is to be performed is pure, clean, and fresh, not used before, and its color, taste, and smell are unchanged. 2. Make an intention of performing wuzu for offering prayer and recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. 3. Wash both hands up to the wrists 3 times, passing the fingers in between each other. 4. Cleanse. Rinse the mouth with a brush or finger and gargle with water 3 times. 5. Sniff the water into the nostrils thrice and use the little finger of the left hand for cleaning. 6. Wash the face from the forehead to the chin bone and whatever is in the face in between the two ears 3 times. 7. Wash the right arm followed by the left arm from the tips of the fingers up to the elbow 3 times. 8. Wipe the whole head with wet hands. Pass the wet tips of the index finger inside the wet tips of the thumb, encircling outside the ears, and pass over the surface of the hands over the nape and the sides of the neck. 9. Wash the feet up to the ankles, the right foot first and then the left, taking care to wash in between the toes each 3 times. At the end of these steps, completion of wuzu, recite Allahumma ja'alni minat tawwabin wa ja'alni minal mutatahhirin and Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Obligatory acts of wuzu.
What is
Allah.
the translation of these?
Okay. O Allah, make me one of those who repent for their sins, and make me one of those who keep themselves pure. And
Mm-hmm.
I bear witness that there is no God except Allah, who is one, who has no partners, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his servant and apostle.
Ji,
Obligatory acts of wuzu.
Abdur, read further. Abdur, read further. Muhammad Kundi, read further. Muhammad Kundi, read further.
Sir, can you please tell the page?
This is obligatory acts of wuzu.
Sir, which page?
253.
If you have the same book, it's
Yes,
page
sir.
253.
Obligatory acts of wudu. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran, O you who believe, when you prepare for prayer, wash your faces and your hands and arms to the elbows. Rub your heads with water and wash your feet to the ankles. 5, 6.
What is
Hence the
5 6?
obligation.
What do you mean by
5,
5 6?
5 colon 6 in bracket.
No.
Sir, Surah
Af-
number 5, ayat number
when,
6.
once you
Who
read, Muhammad Kundi, when you read the translation and after you see these numbers, so you have to say chapter 5, ayat number 6.
Okay, sir.
And the first digit is referring the surah number or the chapter number, and the next digit is referring the ayat number or the verse number.
Okay, sir.
So in this is the verse number. Which verse number of surah 5?
Sir, 6.
Okay, read.
Hence, the obligatory acts in the performance of wudu are four: washing the face, washing both the arms from the tips of the fingers up to the elbows, wiping a quarter of the head with wet hands, washing both feet. Acts or circumstances invalidate the wudu, answering the call of nature discharge of semen or issue of worm or sandy stone or any impure matter. Number 2, the passage of wind. Number 3, vomiting a mouthful of matter. Number 4, emission of blood or pus from a wound,
Pass.
etc.
This is
Pus,
pass.
okay, sir, pus from a wound, etc., to such an extent that it passes the limits of the mouth of the wound, etc. Loss of consciousness through sleep, drowsiness, etc. Temporary insanity, fainting, or intoxication. Audible laughter during prayer.
So it is quite clear up till this point. Whatever you have read, it is understood by everyone. We have already discussed that. But if you have any point of discussion or a question, you may ask. Okay, read further, Mohammed Kundi.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
Ji Ahmed Siddiqui, Mohammed
sir,
Ahmed Siddiqui.
voiding means it will break our wuzu.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Mohammed Kundi.
Okay, sir. Ghusl brackets bath. Islam encourages believers to keep their bodies clean, especially when some impurity is discharged. Generally, bath is of three kinds: obligatory, sunnah, and desirable. Ghusl bath is performed by the person who is in a state of major impurity which is caused due to marital relations, discharge, or effusion of semen, the menstruation, or the period of childbirth. The best way of performing ghusl is the person should have the niyat intention to cleanse the body from major impurity at the time of performing the bath. He should wash the hands up to the wrist thrice. Then the private parts must be washed thoroughly thrice. Filth must be removed if there be any from any of the parts of the body. He should then perform an ablution, and lastly he should wash three thrice all the parts of the body, including the hair thoroughly. Water should reach every part of one's body. The obligatory conditions that must be fulfilled for a valid performance of an obligatory ghusl are: number 1, to rinse the mouth thoroughly so that all the parts are washed properly, to sniff the water into the nostrils right up to the nasal bone. Number 3, to wash all the parts of the body thoroughly, including the hair.
Thank you very much. Abdur Rahman. Mohammed Abdur Rahman. Ji Mohammed Ahmed Siddiqui, read further.
Yes, sir. Tayammum. Tayammum is a divine order to satisfy one daily practice and habit of using water for ablution. Tayammum highlights the significance of Islam as a natural religion which helps every individual in every situation. Tayammum is to ease the problem of people suffering from shortage of water. In circumstances when water cannot be found or it is injurious to health, in such situations, tayammum dry ablution can be performed in place of wudu or ghusl. Allah Almighty says, if you are ill or on a journey, and if you do not find any water, then take clean earth or sand and rub it on your face and hands. Allah does not allow to put you in difficulty, but to make you clean. The essential request for the
No, no. The essential requisites.
requisites for the performance of tayammum are to have the intention in mind to perform the tayammum for removal of impurities. Place both hands lightly on the earth, sand, stone, or any other object made up of sand or having dust on it. Blow the dust off the hand and wipe the face with them once in the same way as done in wuzu. Once again, place both hands on the sand and wipe the right arm from the tips of the finger up to the elbow with the left hand, and similarly left hand with the right hand. Finish with the same dua as at the end of ablution. All voiding acts of wuzu also uh, invalidates tayammum. But in addition,
Invalidate. Invalidate.
invalidate invalidate tayammum. But in addition, tayammum is not filled, null-filled,
Nullified.
nullified,
Nullified.
nullified as soon as the cause of performing it is removed. That is, if the sick person recovers, or if recourse has been taken to it for lack of water, and access to water become possible.
Okay. So this is the procedure of doing tayammum, and before that we see the procedure of bath or ghusl, and earlier we discussed the procedure and method of wuzu. So in the examination you might be asked to write the procedure of any one of these. So you will be able to write. You will be able to write the procedures of all these, or it will be difficult for you.
Sir, it would be easy. It won't be difficult. Bye.
Okay. Now the next part relevant to Salah is Azan. Can any one of you tell me how this Azan was introduced?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Ji.
Sir,
two
At
companions
once.
had a dream of the same wording which they narrated to the Prophet, and he approved it.
Okay. You see, when our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam migrated from Mecca to Medina, already Jews were living there. And the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam constructed the masjid. Can anyone tell me what is the place of Jewish worship is called?
sir, it is. Um,
Anyone in this class? Jewish place of prayer is called what? We know Muslims, they call their place of worship masjid.
Sir, a synagogue.
Synagogue, yes, synagogue. So, you know, Jews, they used to blow in a horn, trumpet like horn, that produces a huge roar, and the Jews, they get together in synagogue for their worship. And do you know what is the place of Christian worship called?
A church.
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 Sir,
Right.
church.
And do you know how they call the people for prayer, for their service?
Sir, they ring bells.
Bell.
By ringing the bells. And you know what is the place of worship of Hindus called?
A
Sir,
temple.
temples.
Temples, right? Okay. So Muslims and Islam, the civilization of Muslims, is altogether different. So when our Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, he asked his companions what to do, how to call the people for prayer. You know, in the beginning, he would send a man who would cry at the top of his voice the word As-Salatul Jamia. So the people hearing this word, they would get together in masjid for offering salah. And then, you know, as Nur Muhammad told, two companions of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one was Zaid, the other was Hazrat Umar Radiallahu Ta'ala Anhu. They had a dream, and they dreamt that someone was proclaiming Azan as we do today. So they shared their dream with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he agreed and he accepted that yes, in this way we will call our people to masjid, and this call for salah is known as azan. Can any one of you tell me how many times what words are said in azan? Abdullah Subhan.
Sir, can I tell?
Abdullah Subhan is telling us.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Abdullah, but I asked you something. I request you something. If you was not, if you was hearing us, or you was not closer to your system.
No, sir, I have heard.
You have heard what?
How many times one word is said in
Okay,
Azan?
tell us what words, how many times, and in order you have to tell.
Sir, we have to say Allah Akbar 2 times.
Two times.
Four times, and then Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah 2 times, and then Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah 2 times.
Mm.
Then Hayya ala Salah 2 times, and Hayya ala Falah 2 times, and then Allahu Akbar 2 times, 2 times,
Mhm.
and then La ilaha illallah.
It is two times or twice.
That's same thing.
Same thing. Okay. Can you tell me the meaning of Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah?
Allah is one.
Allah is one. वो तो ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह है बस.
Sir, I swear
There is no
witness
God but
that
Allah.
There is no God but Allah. And what is the translation of Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah?
Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
No. वो तो पहले अशहादो का क्या मतलब है वो भी तो बताइए ना भाई. Ashhadu mean
Sir,
I,
I
I,
bear witness that there is none.
God.
I bear witness. Okay, what is the difference between the Azan of Fajr and the rest of the Azans?
Sir, in Azan of Fajr, we have to say
Sir, can I tell?
As-salatu khairun minan nawm.
As-salatu khairum minan nawm. What is the meaning of this?
Sleep is better than prayer is better than sleep.
Then sleep. Okay. Can any one of you tell me what is the reward of giving Azan? And what is the reward for Muazzin?
Sir, on the day of judgment, after the prophets, after the prophets and the shuhada, the muezzin will like go to the Jannah.
Thank you very much for your contribution. But you see, uh, the reward for giving Azan is so much great that the Prophet ﷺ has said the words to this effect that if the Muslims they know what is the reward for giving Azan, they will compete with one another. They will not allow others to give Azan. Rather, they will draw the names, they will draw the lot, they will cast the lot, and then they will pick the names of someone whose name is picked up, that person will give the Azan. So there's a great reward for giving Azan. Anyway, who was the first Muazzin in Masjid Nabwi?
Bilal Raziyallahu anhu.
Yes. Bilal Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu gave the first Azan in the Masjid of Medina, and he gave the first Azan in Haram of Makkah. Yani at the time of conquest of Makkah, he gave the first Azan. Bilal Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu. And when during the time of Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu, Muslims conquered Jerusalem, Bilal was among those soldiers. So he gave the first Azan in Jerusalem as well. Subhanallah, what a great honor for Bilal Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu. And in Jannah he will give the Azan as well. Okay, what is this Iqama? Iqama is not that we carry here. Iqama in our pocket. Iqama
So
bana hai ki nahi bana.
Iqama is when the Azan will start just after Iqama.
No, Azan is call for prayer. Azan is call for prayer. And Iqama is short Azan and some different wording, and that is proclaimed just before the start of the prayer. Can any one of you tell me what is the difference between Azan and Iqama?
Sir, Azan is said to for the people to get prepared for the prayer, and Sir, Ikama is said that the prayer is now about to start.
So
And sir,
what are the different wordings?
Sir,
sir,
that
after Hayya al Falah, we say Qad Qamatis Salah.
Okay.
and sir, it is a short speech.
Not
Short, short,
you
than,
may say
it's
it is a
shorter than Azan.
short version of
Azan.
Azan. Okay, now there are other differences as well. Azan is given at the top of the voice, but Iqama is not given at the top of voice, rather low in voice. Azan is given at the slower pace, and Iqama is proclaimed on the faster pace. Azan is the call for prayer, to come for prayer. And Iqama is about the start of the prayer, that prayer is about to start. So this
Yes,
is the
sir.
difference. This is the difference. Okay, ji. Can anyone tell me which dua is recommended that we should recite at the end of the end of the azan? Anyone who know this dua by heart? اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعث مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. You see, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said about this dua. Yani whosoever amongst my followers, Muslims, yani, will offer this dua regularly in his life on the day of judgment, I will request Allah Almighty to allow this Muslim to enter into Jannah. So there is a great, great reward for this. So you should know this dua by heart. If you happen to recite it regularly after Azan, then inshallah the Prophet ﷺ's dua will reach you, his intercession will reach you, his sifarish will find you on the day of judgment. Okay, by the way, how we can respond to the azan? What is recommended when azan is given? What we should do?
Sir, repeat the words after the Muazzin.
So
And sir, when
we should
sir,
repeat the words of the muazzin, and Muhammad Kundi is saying something.
sir, and when it is saying hayya ala salah, then we have to reply in like uh, uh, so then we have to say like la
Hmm.
hawla
La hawla wa la quwwata
wala
illa
quwwata
billah.
yes, sir, la hawla wala quwwata illa billah when he's saying hayya al falah and hayya al salah.
Yes, good. Okay, ji. Now I will ask Muhammad Rian Kashif to read from the book this explanation given about Azan. Muhammad Rian Kashif, do you hear me? No, he is not answering. Huzaifa Ahmed, can you hear me? Muhammad Arslan, do you hear me? Muhammad Hassan Abid, can you hear me? Muhammad Faik Kashif, do you hear me? Ahmed Nawaz, do
Yes,
you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Muhammad Faik Kashif, read for us the explanation given under the heading Azan.
Okay, sir. Azan. Call for Azan is the divine anthem of Islamic belief. Azan carries the complete message of Islam. Azan is a symbol of Islam and unity of Muslims all over the world. Azan is the first call to prayer. It is uttered in a loud voice to announce to the faithful that it is time for the obligatory prayer and to invite them to offer it. It is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ to call out the Azan for the 5 daily prayers and the Friday prayer. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Allah and His angels pray upon those in the first rows, and the caller to the prayer is forgiven. For as far as his voice reaches, and whoever hears him will confirm what he says. He will get a reward similar to those who pray with him. Musnad Imam Ahmad. A person who calls people for congregational prayer is called muazzin. Before saying the azan, he should stand facing Holy Kaaba. He should raise his hand to his ears, putting the tips of the four fingers into his ears, and call in a loud voice the following words, pausing after every phrase. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the great.
Uh, just a minute, five. We know Azan is given, is proclaimed before the prayer 5 times a day. Can any one of you let me know, apart from this calling for prayer, uh, are there other situations when we can give Azan or not? Can Azan be given apart from calling for the prayer?
Sir, we give azan at the time of the birth of a child in his ear.
Yes, you are right. Good, Shabash. We pronounce Azan in the ear of a child as and when the child is born. In the right ear, Azan, and in the left ear, Ikama. And similarly, if there is a continuous calamity and if there is continuously going on rain that may cause flood, or there is a storm, or there is a earthquake, under these circumstances, Azan can be given also. Ananur Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Faik, read further.
Okay, sir. Number one, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, 4 times. Number two, Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is none worthy of being worshipped except Allah. Twice. Third, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the apostle of Allah. Twice.
Apostle.
Apostle of Allah. Twice. Number four, Hayya as-Salah, come to prayer. Saying it twice while turning only the face towards the right. Hayya al-Falah, come to success. Saying it twice while turning the face towards the left. Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest twice. La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah, once. The following narration is added after phrase 5 in the Azan of the Fajr prayer. As-salatu khayrun minan nawm. Prayer is better than sleep, twice.
Faik, now without looking at the book, tell me how to give Azan. Rather, give Azan.
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, in order, sir?
Yes, in order. And you just give Azan now. Don't tell me 4 times, 3 times. Without telling me the numbering, how many times you have to say. You have to say Azan.
Okay, sir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya alal salah.
देखो फाइक अशहदु अन्ना मोहम्मद रसूल लाम के ऊपर पेश है कि जबर है?
पेश.
तो फिर इसको
Rasulullah.
हाँ ऐसे पढ़े.
Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya alal salah. Hayya alal salah.
ना
Hayya
ना
alal
हैया अलल सला नहीं है. हैया
ala
अलस.
salah.
हाँ
Yes.
हैया अलस सला.
Hayya alal salah. Hayya alal salah. Hayya alal falah. Hayya alal falah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. Okay. Now I will ask Zainab Irfan, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Give Azan.
Yes, sir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Shabash, good. Muhammad Ahmed Siddiqui, can you give the azan for Fajr?
Yes, sir.
Give it.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
But this is not the azan for Fajr.
I'm sorry, I'm saying.
Sir, can I give?
No, no, just hold on. Muhammad Ahmed Siddiqui, when you have finished this Hayya al Salah, okay, sorry, Hayya al Falah, after this you have to set, after you are supposed to say As-salatu khairum minan naum twice.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so you remember now that if you are going to give azan for Fajr, so you have to say As-salatu khairum minan naum twice after this phrase Hayya al Falah. Okay, Noor Muhammad, what is the dua which we recite, which we are required to recite after this azan? Is there anyone who know this dua by heart? Abdur Rahman, did you know this by heart? I think Abdur Rahman has left.
No, sir. Abdur Rahman has a mic problem.
Okay, but he can say that he can tell us the dua by heart. Abdur Rahman, do you know this dua by heart?
Sir, he is not in the class.
Yes, he is not in the class. That's what my point is. Okay, anyone in this class, if you know this dua by heart, please recite for us. And if it is not, then you please memorize this. Ahmad Alam, do you know this dua by heart?
No, sir.
Okay. Noor Muhammad, read after this Hayya ala Salah, As-salatu khairum minan nawm, given in the book.
Okay, sir. Azan is recited by men only. Azan given by a female is not valid. It is not permissible to call out azan for a prayer before the beginning of the time of that particular prayer. Such azan will not be valid. When the believers hear the azan, they should listen to it in silence and repeat each phrase of the azan in silence immediately after the muezzin has finished saying the phrase. When the muezzin says Hayya ala salat and Hayya ala falah, the listener should reply in La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. When the azan is complete, the listeners and the muezzin recite durood on to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, followed by the following dua. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمد الوسيلة
Okay, listen. آت محمد نل وسيلة والفضيلة.
والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. O Allah, Lord of this perfect call and the prayer to be offered presently, grant Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the way of approach unto thee and also eminence, and raise him unto the glorious station. Thou hast promised him and bestow his intercession on us on the day of judgment. Verily, thou never go back on thy word.
What is this Thai word Thy? What is Thy word? This word is thy, not Thai. Thy mean your. Nur Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
verily thou means you. Verily thou means you. Never go back on thy means your.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
read further, be quick.
Significance of Azan. The Azan is not only expressive of its aim and purpose but also richly, melodiously, and eloquently imbued with the spirit and the concept of
Nur
divine
Muhammad,
welfare.
Nur Muhammad, we will do this in the next lesson, inshallah, remaining part, as we have already taken more time.
Okay, sir.
Allah Hafiz, thank you very much.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Yes, sir.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.